Hey, it's Katrina Sawa here, the Jumpstart Your Biz Coach with jumpstartyourbiznow.com. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about showing love today. I just came off my Love Yourself Successful Summit. It was a 2-day event that I had, and I brought in 4 other clients to speak who all have something to do with the 4 types of love I talk about in my book, Love Yourself Successful. And it's the 4 types of love are love for self, love with a significant other, love for what you're doing in your job or your business, and love in your environment. So one thing I wanted to talk about today was giving and receiving love. So sometimes we go through our day-to-day and we may go tell our loved ones we love them. We might give them a hug or a kiss. We might be affectionate. But in your day-to-day, like here's some tips on how to maybe show more love. One, when you are, do you think about giving love daily, right? Do you treat others how you want to be treated? I'm just reading from page 64 and 65 of my book. What do you do on a daily basis in everyday life affects your love-filled environment, right? Do you, when you're in traffic and someone cuts you off, do you cuss them out? It's not really showing love. Now, they may not be able to hear you, and so it's not a big deal, but that kind of negative energy that you're bringing out into the world, into your bubble, is not necessarily helpful, right? And why do we want to show more love and be more love and receive more love? Because you'll attract more clients and make more money. Yes, 100%, always. So we want to be cognizant of the love-filled environment that we're in. You're saying, I only want to show love when I feel like it. Interesting that you might feel that way, right? How do you think that affects your karma or law of attraction rating, right? And so if you're only happy or giving or generous or thoughtful when others are looking, or when they are, when you feel like it, is that really a good strategy? Because I think we should show love at all times. And I have a really good friend who constantly does that, right? And she's just always looking out for the other person. I admit that I have to think about it, right? I have to think about it before I show love, which is why I wrote the book, because it's one of the things that I work on, right? Let's see. Another thing is showing love could be sending note cards in the mail, not just for people's birthdays, but hear things, that people are saying, oh, my mom just died, or my dog got sick, or I just had COVID last week, or whatever. Like, you hear these things, or you see them either on social media, or you'll hear them in an email, or you'll hear somebody say something on a call, and it should trigger, I should send that person a card, or I should text them real quick if you have their phone, or I can private message them that I'm thinking of them. These little teeny tiny things that you can do throughout your day to be paying attention to other people can make them feel so loved. And how does that help you? Well, they might think of you next time someone asks them about the services that you provide, and they'll be like, oh, you should talk to so-and-so. I like them, right? Because you showed them some attention, thoughtfulness, generosity, or love, then they might be thinking of that as well. Now, what are some of the things that we sometimes don't receive love? Well, think about when you're at a live event, like a networking event, and they have a prize table, and they, you enter to win, or you buy raffle prizes, and then your name gets called or your tickets get called, not once, not twice, but maybe 3 times, right? And 3 times you're winning this prize. How many times have you seen people or done this where you said, oh, no, I already have one. It's okay. Put the ticket back in and pick somebody else. Right? That's pushing away abundance. It really is a pushing away abundance of love, of receiving energy, of things you could win. Like, right, it could be monetarily beneficial. Why would you push away something that is rightly yours? Especially, I see people that spend $40 on raffle tickets, and some people that'll spend $3, and then the $40 people feel bad for taking 2 or 3 or 4 gifts because they had more tickets in the race, right? than the person who spent $3, right? It's kind of like, it's just, they went all in, right? And they're very generous in giving to whatever cause. So that's one way that sometimes we don't receive, right? Another thing is sometimes maybe if you're a coach, then you give either 45 minutes or an hour calls, or sometimes maybe 30, whatever. But if you have a package and it has X number of calls in it at an hour each, but you consistently go over that hour, meaning a half an hour, maybe you consistently do 90-minute calls. Well, that's not, and you're not charging for that extra time, right? That's not receiving. That's being generous, yes, but it's overly so, especially if you do it all the time, and it's undervaluing your worth and your value. And it's kind of like somebody taking from you in a way. I know you're the one being generous with the time, but if you see yourself doing that, I would highly recommend that if you know you need 90 minutes with somebody every week or every time you do a call, then change your program to include 6 90-minute calls instead of 6 60-minute calls. Please change the pricing, change the expectations of the person that's going to work with you, and really be valued for that time and receive that extra money because you deserve it and you're giving it anyways, right? And sometimes people do this with the length of their program, and they will say, well, I'll just do a 3-month program. And they're thinking in their head because it's cheaper and therefore easier to sell. But in reality, people need 6 or 9 months or maybe a year with you to really see the transformation in whatever it is you're going to do with them. If they really need 6, 9, or 12 months, then you really have to know that and own that and feel passionate about selling, enrolling people into that, because anything less will undervalue their experience. It will undervalue their transformation. And you have to get behind 110% that is what they need. Now, I get it that you're going to negotiate and stuff, and sometimes people aren't going to do the big program, right? But know the value for you as well as the transformation for them. So think about it this week in terms of giving and receiving love, value, thoughtfulness, encouragement, generosity. It's great to give all the time, but you have to receive. You need to receive too. So hopefully this is helpful for you. And if you ever want to talk about this or anything else, this is just part of what I do with people, with helping them jumpstart their businesses and their lives, because it all flows together. Everything, all this energy, all this type of giving and receiving energy flows with making a consistent revenue in your business. So I hope to see you soon. Go to the website to download some free gifts or find out when my next event is, or come and talk to me privately. jumpstartyourbiznow.com. Have a good day.